Welcome back to the Selling with Love podcast. This is your host, Jason Marc Campbell. And what I want to speak about today is actually one of the tools used in industry to be able to measure how likely people are going to be promoters for your brand, so that every time you do make a sale, you have people that are so happy with their product and service that they in turn start referring you clients, bringing more business to you, and basically acting like little independent marketers and salespeople for your brand. Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, when we get started, we often find ourselves so focused on prospecting, getting our first list of clients. But how much do we know from every client that we sell to if these people are talking positively or negatively about our brand, our product and service, our company, or as us as individuals if we are an independent contractor? And it turns out that there's a way you can find this information, at least with some level of accuracy, to see that if you make a sale, are you more likely to have elements in place that will grow your business, or are you going to be negatively affecting your brand? And the way that we do this is with a tool that exists called the NPS Score. And if you've never heard of this, you've probably seen it without knowing what it was. See, the NPS score stands for Net Promoter Score, and it tells you what are the positive or negative scores on how people are having an experience with your purchase. So if you've ever purchased something and you've written a survey that came up and you had to answer this survey and it asked the question, how likely are you to recommend this product, service, or brand to friends and family? And that, in this sense, is the standard question that you ask to determine what the NPS score is. And so for everyone who's ever purchased from you, if you send out that survey and leave a box for them to leave additional comments, there's some beautiful things that can happen that can really support you in making adjustments to your product, adjustments to who you target, and inspiring your sales team in the process, or inspiring yourself if you are the sales team. So when the information gets sent out, say you have 100 customers and you send out this survey and you receive this data where a few of them might have rated it a 9 out of 10 that they would refer it to friends and family. You have maybe a couple 7s and a few 5s. And what you get to compile is anyone who voted it a 9 or a 10 counts for a promoter score. Anyone who's voted it a 6 or below counts for a detractor score. And when you do the math between these numbers and you see if your output is a positive number or a negative number, you get to have an idea on if every sale you make, your brand gets elevated, or if every sale you make, your brand takes a toll. We're going to put a link in the show notes so that you can find out more about this tool if you are excited about using it, but let me show you the power of what happens if you put it into practice. The first thing you'll get is some amazing data on what are maybe some things that could be fixed to make your product even better. That's why we leave an open comment section. And some of the things that will come up from here are going to be absolutely amazing for your product team or yourself to add innovations, include features that you see people are already requesting to make the product even better. And as you do this, you have to have one degree of nuance, which is if someone is actually not a promoter of your brand, perhaps they have a negative outlook on your product, it would be very difficult to think that the only reason they get a negative score is your product, because that'll be your instinct. Your instinct will say, oh my God, look, some people didn't like my product. My product's terrible. I am terrible. What am I doing? And you have to take a step back and realize, listen, there's a lot more variables at play than simply the quality of your product. And that number one variable you have to take into consideration is who are the people that are being detractors of the product as opposed to who are the people who are being promoters. And so what happens is who you target might make a big difference on how satisfied they are with the product. And I'll use the most blatant example. Let's say you are working at a Lamborghini dealership and you decide to sell a Lamborghini to someone who's basically put the down payment on a credit card, are debt over their eyeballs, and when they get the first time of bringing their Lamborghini in for service, the bill is so extraordinary. They're so dissatisfied with the Lamborghini. They feel like they've overpaid and they're completely stressed, and they've gotten their Lamborghini, but they're very, very depressed that the bills cost so much and it was a terrible purchase. And now they have no more money left for themselves in their lives, and so they might be a detractor. As opposed to if you sold this Lamborghini to someone who makes multi-million dollars and were able to buy it cash, and the expenses when it comes to the repairs are not even a dent to their wallet, and they get to drive their dream vehicle they've always wanted to have, they become an extreme promoter. Is there a problem with the product? And it's funny because if you would take into consideration the detractors here, you might start thinking, wow, we really need to discount our service and maybe we need to make cheaper cars, where at this point, you're completely going to be missing the original value proposition of what your product is about. And in this case, it's a luxury sports car. And so the core people that do buy it and cause zero problems and absolutely love it would actually be less satisfied if you start catering to the wrong target market. You see how that works? So make sure whenever you get this survey data back that you can find out maybe some more information from the people who are your promoters about who specifically they are. I always recommend people that once they've sent out their survey, that anyone who's identified as a promoter, if you have their contact details, schedule a call with them. Ask them about who they are. What did they enjoy about the product? What would they like to see more of? What does their life look like without the product? And how does it look like now that they have it? Or service, of course. I extend this always to services or products. And as such, you get to attract a lot more of the types of people that will have success with your product. And your sales team, if you have one, if they get to speak exclusively to the promoters and they get to share to your team about how wonderful their life is now that they've actually decided to use this product and service, your sales teams will be so motivated and excited to get on the phones, send out those emails, follow up with those clients, knowing that another extremely satisfied person might be on the other end of that phone if they find them that they are extremely similar to these extremely satisfied customers. So the NPS score, as much as it's supposed to be a product innovation tool and a way to get feedback on the product, there's so much that can be discovered from marketing and sales departments. You can make sure you attract more of the target market and really bring in the people that are happy with it. You also get to motivate your sales team. And if you see any ideas about how to innovate the product, you're going to be getting this information as well. But I'll give one word of caution. Do not put your sales team in conversations with the detractors. These are people that are negative about their experience with your brand, because your salespeople need to be focused, they need to be motivated, and you do not want any of the distractions that come from speaking to a detractor. That is a customer support and a customer service department call that needs to happen. So you can listen to them, get the feedback, find out if they were even the right client to sell to, or was there something fundamentally wrong with the product. And this is a tool I'd encourage you to do. If you have existing products and you've never sent out a survey about their satisfaction, get this data. It is so important because as you follow the simple sales process and the selling with love methodology, you are looking to generate raving fans. And raving fans are going to be people that go out there and become your little marketers and little salespeople by promoting your product and service to all of their friends and family. And so although you start the business with a lot of prospecting, getting those first clients in, what is the experience they are left with? And are they going to be out there finding new clients for you because they're so happy with the product you deliver? And your salespeople can be reinforced, you get to improve the product, and it makes it a beautiful thing. So powerful action for you. Do you know your product's NPS score? Are your clients happy with it? Are we targeting the right kind of clients? And do we know how to attract more of these types of clients? It'll come from going more than just a survey. Start the conversations as well. And so with this tool, I hope that it brings you some better insights, better sales, and better marketing. And if you've used this tool before and you've had some success, I'd love to hear your story. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram, which is Jason Marc Campbell. And I'd love to hear if this is something you've used before and had success. Send me a direct message. I love interacting with each and every one of you listeners, and I will personally be able to have a conversation to see how happy you are with your experience listening to the Selling with Love podcast. Keep tuned in. Thanks for listening. And until next time, keep selling with love.